Austraeoh by Imploding Colon, read by Deathlight, Chapter 139, Steely. By the time Rainbow Dash was halfway down the pit, she could see the lantern-lit panel of the training facility sliding shut. Frowning, she angled her wings and rocketed downward. She spun to the right and threaded her way through the sliver of the door at the last second. The first thing waiting for her was a surprised guard. He received the full impact of all four of her hooves. The blow sent him flying back, so that he tumbled into the doorway on the other side of the small chamber through which Duke Zobnatter was attempting a hasty exit. The tall stallion spun about, his breath wheezing through his mask. His fellow guards formed a tight circle around the whimpering foals while brandishing sparkling horns. "One question," Rainbow Dash grumbled. "Why? Why the heck?" A pathetic disdain. "You would not understand. You wouldn't even fathom the purpose of salvaging industry. You who've been impotent outshutter," Zobnatter uttered. "Tossing fools down a huge flank hole in hopes to do what? Turn all the lights back on in the city or some crap?" Rainbow Dash's ruby eyes became piercing daggers. "Where I come from, the only creatures nutty enough to think something like that's okay have a name: monsters. There's only one place for freaks like you. Let me ask you a question, Duke. Do you like the smell of sulfur? 'Cause you'll have to be channeling a lot of that junk into your mask if you want to survive a single week in Tartarus." Exasperated curiosity. "Did you come all the way back to lecture me the woods?" "No, I came here to shove my hoof up your butt." Rainbow spat. "So forgive a mare for wanting to savor the moment." She started dragging her hoof across the floor in a threatening manner. The guards' horns hummed with brimming energy as they fixated their bright points on Rainbow Dash. Before they could launch a single burning discharge, Zobnatter raised his hoof. They all froze in place as he glared through his gas mask at the Pegasus. "You who've been outshutter, has it occurred to you that you're out of your element? The obelisk has descended from the surface of our city. She who be governmental has done nothing to restore the spirit of industry that has abandoned us due to our frailties and sins. I who be Duke Zobnatter has taken upon myself to intrigue the spirit of industry directly. Those who be angry Darkstenians wish to take out their wrath on me on such a desperate act, so be it. We who be ponies live in the world abandoned by goddesses. And the rules of magic and ingenuity they have left behind require more than mortal means. But the glory lost to us is to be resuscitated." "For information, Dookie, I've lived amongst homeless goddesses for most of my life." Rainbow Dash snarled, her nostrils flaring. "And if this is what it's like to live in a place where ponies feel the need to think for the goddesses themselves, then I'll be really freaking happy to leave this stinking province. But not without taking those fools off your hooves and bringing them back to their families. There's just one problem. I haven't kicked your teeth in yet." "Necessary brevity. Allow me to solve your problem." Duke Zobnatter lowered his hoof. In one blink, all the unicorn guards fired magical bolts from their horns. The bright beams of energy converged on Rainbow Dash. She murmured something, flinched, and took the brunt of the energy blasts. In a smoking heap, she collapsed across the metal floor, her wings twitching. The foals gasped and started sobbing, clinging to each other. Duke Zobnatter took a deep breath and adjusted his breather. "Poise solemnity. It had to be done. Verily, those who be redeemed as a new ring, follow me." He turned once more to the door which led to the corridor. "Let us proceed to one of the lower chambers and approach the pit from there." The speech was interrupted by a blue body settling hard into his flank with a bucking of four limbs. "Gah!" He face-planted into the door frame. A hose or two popped loose from his mask, venting gas into the air. Rainbow Dash flipped off the Duke, twirled, and flew like a missile straight into the line of guards. They could barely react in time. She pinballed through them with vigor, knocking them to the ground with kicks to the ribs, uppercuts to the chin, and bucks to the groin. In less than 10 seconds, the group had fallen painfully to the floor. "Ha!" Rainbow slid to a stop beside the gasping foals, her body dancing with an aura of flickering white lights. 10 seconds flattened. Sprinkle some of that on your salad, you rust-licking bags of lame. As the guards groaned and struggled to pick themselves back up, Duke Zobnatter reattached the hose, wheezed, and struggled to utter.
Impossible statement. This is impossible.
Impossible, your eye! Rainbow Dash smirked devilishly and ran a hoof over her pendant as a white light danced around her. From White Mane with love, Barf Muffin.
Dextinian magic is pure.
Zobnatter seethed as his guard slowly stood up.
It is the epitome of unbridled industry.
Nuts to that. Rima's face contorted in thought, then blinked as she beamed brightly. I bubbled.
Intimidating retorts. You merely sealed your fate, she who be an outsider.
Zobnatter motioned towards his guards.
Furious imperative. Reduce all of them to ash. We shall have the other fools to sacrifice for salvation.
Save your breath! Rainbow sneered as she stood directly in front of the firing squad with the foes to her rear. You're not touching a single hair in their mane, so long as the Vertistone Queen's energy shield doesn't wear out. The energy shield wore out. Rainbow Dash's ruby pupil shrunk. She stood, dim and unprotected, before a line of sparkling unicorn horns. About my Tartarus comments earlier. The Duke wasn't hesitating.
Fire!
The unicorns tilted their heads forward, only to have a panel of metal collapse in the middle of them from above. Rainbow Dash and the fools looked up, gasping. With his trench coat billowing, Steel Teeth landed in the center of the firing squad. He spun in furious circles, bucking and kicking as many guards down as he could. Once the Duke's loyalists were appropriately shoved back, the tall stallion marched in reverse and stood before Rainbow Dash and the children. Steely! Rainbow's voice cracked, then she breathed in relief. I knew I smell radicalness. I thought I told you to stay at the governor's mansion. He grumbled. Love you too. I swear, Her Majesty doesn't award me for weathering all this chicanery.
My astonishment. The Constable of Vertistone.
Duke Zobnatter stood beside his guards, leering.
It now seems apparent that those who be Amerilians are invading New Ring.
I'm going to make you wish it was an invasion. Steel Teeth's aquamarine eyes glinted as he reached a hoof to his hat. Stay back. Hey, the more the merrier. Let's take them both on. Rainbow Dash stopped speaking as your eyes blinked wide. Steel Teeth had flung his widely brimmed article off, revealing a metal, mainly a skull within, sparkling Tesla coils. In a second breath, he flung his trench coat off, revealing a shiny metal body complete with driving pistons, whirring mechanisms, and sparkling bulbs that channeled mana. Whatever flesh was left of him had been reduced to scorched skin that only barely matched the midnight gray coat, clinging to the ends of his hooves. In place of a kitty mark was a metal grate that covered a miniature furnace brimming with flames. Rainbow Dash stammered. I said stay back. Steel Teeth's voice rang with a vibrating tone. Gritting metal teeth, he twisted his rear hooves and fired a pair of steam-powered thrusters. He launched his body towards the crowd, toppled two guards, and landed in a slide. With a flick of his left hoof, he extended his limb to an 8-foot pole that tripped 3 more unicorns. The guards next to the Duke fired mana bullets through their horns. The energy blast merely bounced off Steel Teeth's metal skeleton. Steel Teeth's skull pulsed with electricity, and he spilled his right forelimb 180 degrees so that it turned into a cannon. Aiming with an expert stare, he launched a stream of metal pellets back at the assailants. The guards fell down, one after another, their armor shattering apart from the vicious projectile's impacts. Duke Zobnatter got something indiscernible into his mask, and summoned a telekinetic shield to block the last of Steel Teeth's volleys. Steel Teeth converted his hoof back, only to have 2 more guards rushing in and grabbing his sides. He merely crouched low, concentrated, and activated twin springs in his ribcage. The guards were propelled off him. One flew into the air. Steel Teeth extended a prehensile tail of metal coil, and lassoed it around the gasping unicorn's leg. With a ringing snarl, the constable spun and swung the screaming guard like a conjure into the remaining group of lackeys. You know what? Rainbow Dash smiled crookedly. You got him. She pointed at the foals. How about I get them to safety? That sounds extremely prudent. Steelteeth calmly replied, in the middle of kicking guards' helmets into shrapnel. There was a roaring sound from across the chamber. Steelteeth spun to look. Duke Zobnatter was galloping towards him. In mid-run, he telekinetically lifted 2 summoners out from under his coat and flung them at the Vertistone Guardian. Steelteeth jumped back, ducking, dodging the Duke's dual blades. He grunted and twitched his neck. A shot of electricity flew down his spine, and a metal taser bar shot out of his body. He grabbed in his teeth and used the sparkling tips to deflect the Duke's blows and stab back. In haphazard fashion, the metal pony and masked unicorn fought to a standoff in the center of the echoing chamber. Steely! Rainbow Dash called out to him.
Go!
Steelteeth managed.
Save the fools!
Rainbow Dash winced, sighed, and ushered the crowd along. Come on, kiddies, this show isn't for us. Where are we going? Somewhere, Rainbow Dash footed nervously as she hurried them out of the room and into the corridor. Somewhere less explosive than here, I hope. She galloped out of the room, giving the place one last, regretful glance, seeing a sliver of Steelteeth's sparkling combat with a psychotic Duke. Goddess, I hate being left out of a climax.